right, so I'm going to kind of combine grip editing with this command called Imprint. And Imprint is a super, super powerful command. It is really, really, really cool. I'm going to just use a box here. I'll just zoom into something I've already got. What I'm going to do with Imprint, well, with grip editing, I can show you. You know how you click on, well, let's use a new box. So we've got a box here. And you remember we talked about grip editing where you can grab this and make it bigger, make it smaller, whatever size you need to make it. There's also some special grips that you can get. If you hold down the control key and you click on an edge, you don't have a grip there normally, but you've got that edge right here, and you can actually grab that grip and slide it around. So control, click on this edge, and you can get some inclined surfaces there. You could even get maybe an oblique. Surface like that, so it's inclined two different ways. It's an oblique edge. But this is what you can do with grip editing. So I was holding down control and I was clicking on that edge there. And you can also specify there's no filter, or you can tell it specifically you want to pick it up by an edge with this little guy up here. When you say no filter though, it picks up corners, it picks up edges, it picks up whatever you need to. If I were to hold down control, I can pick up a corner and bring the corner in to do something special as well. So it would just bring in that corner, not the whole edge. That all being said, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to draw a line just right on top of this box. And I'm going to use this command. It's called Imprint. So I'm going to pull this down and I'm going to say Imprint. So it's under Extract Edges. I'm on the Solids Editing panel where your union, subtract, and intersect are. Pull it down. The second option here is Imprint. Select an object. Imprint, select your 3D object, and now select the object that you want to imprint. I'm going to make that line into an edge. That's what Imprint's doing basically, is it's making a new edge for my feature. It asks if I want to delete that source object. I'm going to say yes, because I don't need a line sitting there. The only reason I drew that line was just to get where I want that edge to be. So yes, delete it. I don't have another object to imprint, so I'm going to just press enter here. And now you can see that looks white. It looks like an edge. I'm going to hold down my control button. I'm going to click right here, select which axis I want it to go on, and check it out. So I was able to take that, make it an edge, and now I can do my grip editing and actually make that edge come up. And that's a really sweet, simple way to put that little roof pitch, my pitch on my roof. So when we're looking at, I wonder if we have these 3D objects here. There's one of them in particular, and it's a hit or miss thing for me. Oh yeah, the barn would be a perfect example. You could start off, you could put 3 different lines in print and then just pull it up. This guy would be a perfect example of grip editing. Start off with a box and just pull it up. This guy right here is a good example of maybe a roof pitch that you could try to do. It gets really tricky though, and I'm going to try to, we'll start off with a box. I'm going to draw a line on top of that box. So I'm trying, this is a really rough version of that roof that I've got up there. So I'm going to imprint, select my 3D object. Now I'm going to select the lines that I want to imprint. Sometimes they're hard to get a hold of, so they highlight when you got them. Yeah. Yes, delete. Yes, delete. Yes, delete. Online. Yes, delete. Rotate this orbit. There we go. Yes, delete. I don't have any more to do. So I've got this. Kind of looks like a big envelope, doesn't it? I'm going to imprint. Select. Oops. I'm not going to imprint, hold on, Control, and I'm going to click on this edge right here. And now I'm bringing it up. So that imprint command is a really powerful command. It's super, super cool to know about. And once I've got it up, check this out. Not that you would ever do this on a house, but I can press pull. I mean, it gives me a whole new surface that I can press pull and start playing around with. So kind of crazy stuff that you can do there. By the way, whenever, let me bring it back here. Whenever if you notice, if I'm in the middle of a command like press pull, if I hover over here, do you see how the surface changes? This right here is called, oh my gosh, what is it called? Dynamic UCS, DUCS, D-U-C-S, dynamic UCS. And so what's happening here is basically if I start the circle command, normally I'll start the circle command, it's going to be right here because I know where my X and Y plane is, or AutoCAD knows where it is. The circle's flat, it's not going up on the Z-axis at all, so it's flat along the XY plane. But if I do that same circle command and I'm up next to an edge, it acknowledges that edge and it temporarily changes my UCS so that my X and Y plane is up on that edge. Circle here, even if it's a weird oblique angle or inclined angle, it acknowledges that edge and it goes and draws on it. The reason that that's on my ducks is, you know, you've got your dynamic input. That's what's showing you the little boxes as you do your commands. It's prompting you with the cursor. But do you guys see it? Dynamic UCS, this guy right here. It looks like this. It's a little UCS and it's got a little lightning bolt on it. It should be on by default, but if you ever need to turn it on, looks like F6 will do it for you, but you can also make sure that it shows up here. It's not on the status bar by default. But that's it. So that's grip editing, and that is the imprint command. One more thing, instead of having to just do a whole separate video for this, remember when we talked about that wedge command and how I was saying it just is not the best command in the world? One of my favorite things to do, aside from grip editing, which is awesome, you could totally do that grip editing, grab that edge and move it to wherever it needs to be. But another thing that you can do is the slice command. So I'm going to select my objects to slice. Notice right when I press enter, I get all of these options here. We're going to do a 3-point slice. It looks like it's defaulting to 3 points, and maybe it is nowadays, but it used to be glitchy. So you actually had to type in enter for 3 points, or click right here. Nowadays you can just click it to force it to be 3 points. But I can click here, click here, click here. 3 points define a surface, so you only need 3 points. Now look at what it says. Specify the side that you want to keep. I'm going to keep the back half of this, and it sliced it right along those 3 points for me. So it does feel a little bit weird sometimes. You have to kind of get used to it, because when I first started doing the slice command, I wanted to give it 4 points. I wanted to be like here, 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 and here.
Yeah, what was your third point, that corner or the middle?
Well, it just depends on where you start. So slice,
like you went
select
for the middle
it.
Of the box, but then did you come down the middle of that right side? Or
I did.
You click on it?
I did midpoint here, and I did this corner here. Oops. You see what happens? It was not a 3 point. So slice, select this, enter, 3 points. And it could have been here and here. I could have sliced here, here, and here. Now click on the desired edge, and you've got that. It just, you have to click on 3 points. 3 points define a plane, and that's all that they need at 3 points. So it could have been any 3 points. I just chose a midpoint along here and then an endpoint down there. You could have
a different shape, going the middle and going down to the corner like that. Yeah. But it would have done it more.
One thing to be careful about is, if you're slicing kind of a bigger object, that slice will continue going through that whole object. So if I had a top part to this, I would need to be careful about it. Let's see if I can show you what I mean. Just do a little line here. and press pull this part up. So for example, if I had wanted to slice this, slice, select 3 points here, here, and here. Keep the desired side. Look what it did. I wanted it to just slice out that front part, but it actually sliced all the way through my object. So for this to happen, what I would probably do is just make sure this box and this box haven't been unioned together yet. Put a box on top of a box, slice the bottom box, and then union the whole thing together. One more command. This is kind of like a catch-all video here, but one more command. Dang it. I can think of a few more commands that I want you guys to know about. One more command here is the fillet command. If you ever need to fillet something, you can still fillet in 3D, but there's actually a 3D fillet. So it's the same, it looks like it's the same command. It's this guy right here, but it knows you're in 3D. With this, you're going to select the edge that you want to have rounded. So instead of selecting 2 lines that come together, and then it's going to make an arc, here you select the actual edge that you want to fillet, and you type in the radius. I have no idea what my radius is going to be, so 1 foot. You can just press enter here, and it goes in and it fillets that edge. So the fillet command does work, but you just select the actual edge that you want to fillet.